Of course, I know that. I also studied to a certain extent this topic, so I know, for me at least, it's interesting, and I'm sure that for those participants who registered, it also sounds interesting. So my name is Georgi, and as always, I am the moderator of the subject webinars. And as always, again, and happily, I'm not alone on these evenings, and I'm joined by very interesting people from different German universities who introduce their own programs, in this case, related to studying economics. So let me first share with you my screen. I have a short presentation from my side, and then I'll hand it over to our guests. But first of all, dear attendees, you can see in the bottom part of your Zoom interface, the Q&A button. This is the key and the most important button for today's evening or afternoon, whatever you like. It is already open, and when you click on the Q&A, you can send in us any questions that you are interested in. Of course, it's better that if it's related to the study programs and in general studying in Germany. And we will address these questions, at least most of them, towards the end of our today's webinar, when we have two presentations today. And when both presentations are done, we will have a live Q&A session where those questions that you sent to us will be answered live by one of our guests, or both of them, depending on the type of the question. And also keep an eye on the chat. We will be sharing some links or some data contact information there. So although you cannot yourself use the chat, but you can follow the chat and you can see what's going on there. So please keep an eye on it. It will be interesting for you also. All right, so now, as I said, we are talking about economics today, and we have two guests from two universities, not more guests, but two key speakers from two universities, University of Osnabrück and University of Trier. We have Professor Dr. Stefanie Engel, who will introduce a Master of Science level program in economics, and then Professor Dr. Ksenia Maćke will talk about also a Master of Science level program in economics, but of course offered by University of Trier. Great. So now, very shortly, let me tell you who is today behind today's webinar. So it is my German university, and we are Germany's largest database when it comes to English to study programs. When you visit our webpage, you will be able to find out that there are over 2,500 degree programs in Germany that are taught at least mostly in English. Actually, and many of them are fully in English, both on bachelor level and also master's level. And we also have a database of some short courses and language courses that are offered by some German universities. And our main mission is to assist international students in terms of helping them to come and study in Germany. And one of the key ways of doing so is through our study finder. And you can see on the left-hand side of my screen, the study finder. Yeah, it's a small version of it. But when you go to our website and you click on the study finder in the top left corner, then you'll be able to find the full version of the study finder with all of its filters that you can employ and make your search for the right program much easy and much convenient experience. For example, just one example, you can control, for example, for the programs which are accepting your score of IELTS, let's say of 6.5, or if you have 7.0, those programs which are accepting 7.0. So these are such a deep filters that, of course, will make your search much more interesting and easy, time efficient, which is, I think, one of the important steps when you're going to come and study in Germany. The second way of helping you is through our articles. We have over 150 articles on various topics, but of course related to studying in Germany. For example, it can be getting visa in Germany, or particular blocked account articles about living in Germany, or Uni Assist, or studying medicine, letter of motivation writing, CV writing, etc., etc. All these articles are available for you for free, and you can find them in our article section on the webpage. And last but not least, we are also helping students through organizing these kind of webinars. For example, we have over 150 webinars per year, and the number is rising actually. And the topics of the webinars are also different. They can be, for example, studying in Germany webinar, or scholarships in Germany, or for example, subject webinars like the one that you are attending right now, like studying economics in Germany, but also on different subjects like studying physics in Germany, studying philosophy in Germany, studying engineering in Germany, etc., etc. And you can find all of the programs, all of the webinars that are already planned on our webpage in our webinar section, and you can sign up for all these webinars for free and attend them, of course, for free. And my suggestion also would be to open an account on our webpage, to create an account and which is also, of course, for free. And just by doing that, you will be able to unlock all of the options that our webpage is able to offer you. Regarding our team, we are quite international, although we are based in Hamburg, in northern Germany, which is usually rainy and cold, but these days it's quite warm, and I'm very happy with that. The sun is shining, and I hope it will continue. It will continue like that. But yeah, we are based in Hamburg, but we are all over Germany and all over the world also, and that's why we are counseling in different languages. Now some information generally when it comes to studying in Germany. So if you are the person who is interested more in English study programs, as I said, please go to our page, check out our study finder, and there you'll be find over 100-degree programs for economics, both on bachelor level and master's level. And you can see, as I said, many of them, and even most of them, are English only. And by English only, I mean you do not need any knowledge of German to successfully get an admission to the program and complete this study program, this or that study program. For those who do not know what does it mean to study, in this case, economics in Germany, I would also suggest you to check out our subject page, which I will share with you also in the chat. Subject page related to economics. There you'll be find some generic information regarding, for example, the rankings of universities that are offering this type of programs, or what is the tuition fee ranges that you should expect, or different requirements. So again, this is a very nice first step for you to have a kind of a bigger picture of what to expect when it comes to studying this or that subject in Germany. Also, when you're searching for a program, which from my perspective is one of the key steps to success, to find the right program that fits you the best, there you should not hurry. For example, you should not just choose programs based on rankings, like some rankings, well-known rankings, or some city names only. Please take into account as many aspects as possible, and those aspects which are important just for you. For example, not only fees, rankings, or names, but all this together, but also curriculums, what are the specializations offered, how does the study program look like, etc., etc. Dig a bit deeper, otherwise you will struggle. That's why we don't want you to struggle. We want you to choose the right program exactly that fits your background and interest, so that you enjoy your studies at the same time. That's why please take into account as many aspects as possible, and don't rely only on raw material, like, for example, the rankings alone. For those who don't know, there are two types of universities in Germany. Today, we have both our guests from Universität type of university. And in our study finder, for example, you can control for the study programs in economics, which are offered exactly by this type of university. And the second type is University of Applied Sciences. It's called like this in English. In German, it can have some different namings, Fachhochschule, Hochschule, etc., etc. So it's also available in our study finder, for example, to control for these types of universities, for the programs in economics, for example, that are offered by these types of universities. When it comes, I often receive question, is my diploma of less quality or more quality if I get them for this type of universities? Actually, both diplomas are equally accepted nowadays. And but the main difference for now, I would like you to have as a main takeaway for today is in focus. In general, when it comes to Universität type of university, the focus falls more on research and theory, and in case of another one, University of Applied Sciences, the focus falls more on application and practice. And last but not least, again, regarding the right way of searching for the program, in addition to the aspects as we mentioned before, also please be flexible with wordings also when you're searching for the program. And by combining all these details together, you'll make sure that you are aware of all the programs that Germany is able to offer you, and you are able to then make an informed decision, which is crucial for the future success. Okay. Great. That was all from my side. And we are now moving to the most interesting part of our webinar, to our guests. And we are moving to Osnabrück now, a bit moving to southern from Hamburg, not very far away, but still. Osnabrück, we are in Osnabrück University. And as I introduced, it's Professor Dr. Stefanie Engel, and she will now introduce the Master of Science program in Economics. Professor, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. And I'm very happy to be here today and present to you our master program. I'll be giving the presentation together with 𝘱𝘢𝘕. She is one of our students. Unfortunately, her camera is not working. There's some problem with the camera, but she's here and she will be giving part of the presentation. Let me share my screen a moment, and then we get started. I'll be telling you about the Master of Science in Economics at Osnabrück University, and our slogan of the master is future-oriented and sustainable, and you will see why we say this in a moment. Okay, now the thing is not working. Yeah, okay. So Ms. Imami and I will tell you about why the program, the people, and the environment are 3 good reasons to come to Osnabrück for the Master of Economics. And I will start by telling you about the program. So in general, at Osnabrück, we have 1,200 to 1,400 students who are studying business administration, economics, and information systems at the bachelor and the master level. You can see here all the various programs we have. In this presentation, I will just tell you about the Master of Science in Economics. And this is really a program that we reformed very recently. So last winter semester, 2022-23, we implemented some reforms. And the main reform was that we have the Master of Economics now in English, so that really international students can join the master without having to know German in any way. And this is also why you don't find so much information on our program yet in the internet, because it's relatively new that we have it in English. And another reform that we implemented is that we have a new, very timely specialization option in the area of sustainability, behavior, and environmental policy. And I tell you in a moment more about this. And we've also introduced even more flexibility in your course choices as part of these reforms. What are the general aims of the master program in economics in Osnabrück? In the course of the program, you will deepen your knowledge in economics, obviously, but you will also learn a broad spectrum of application-oriented economic methods. So although we are a university and not a university of applied sciences, as Georgie was mentioning, we do have also strong emphasis on application-oriented methods and preparing you for applying what you learn. You will be able to apply models and methods to economic policy issues and get prepared for working on important real-world projects. There is quite some flexibility to shape the program in your own interest or according to your own interest. So I show you here an exemplary study plan. You have to take 100 ECTS over in total. Usually you do it over 4 semesters. And there is really only one compulsory module, that is the module Advanced Methods of Business and Economics. That's 10 ECTS. And of course, you have to write your master's thesis. That's 20 ECTS. The remaining 90 ECTS are really an elective area. So that gives you flexibility in composing the program also along with what you are most interested in. Of course, there are some restrictions. 60 of these 90 ECTS have to be taken in economics and methods and 10 in business administration. And within this elective area, you have the possibility to form a major. This is something you can do. You don't have to do it. But if you do it, you have the option to choose one of 2 majors. The first is empirical economics. The second is sustainability, behavior, and environmental policy. And I will show you in a moment more about those majors. Taking a major means that you have to take at least 40 credits from a specified list of courses within that major. So let me first tell you about the major in empirical economics. This is an area that we've been having for quite a while in the department. It's also because our faculty is particularly strong in this regard. We have an Institute of Empirical Economics. And of course, the motivation is that modern economics increasingly uses empirical methods in its research. So it's not all about theory. It's really also about empirical research, empirical methods. So the aim of the major is to provide you with the ability to conduct independent empirical analysis. The content would be that you get strong methodological foundations in statistics and econometrics as your core methods. You will get applied training in which various economic policy issues are addressed. So really applying these methods to specific economic policy issues. And as part of this major, you would also take part in a project seminar where you can do an empirical study on your own. Career perspectives with that major are, for example, at applied research institutes, in consulting firms, in departments of companies or of banks or of the Big Four auditing firms, all of which are conducting empirical analysis. Or, of course, you could also work in academia. The second major, as I said, is relatively new, and this is a major in sustainability, behavior, and environmental policy. And this is something that is quite unique also at our university. What is the motivation? Well, as you all know, climate crisis and other environmental challenges like biodiversity loss, water pollution, and so on are really major challenges to society these days. And all of these really call for a sustainability transformation to really solve them. And the thing is that we largely know how the behavior of various actors needs to change. The behavior of companies, consumers, farmers, governments, we know a lot about what should be done. But why is such change not happening or not happening enough? Or as it is put in this newspaper article here, why is humanity so reluctant to save itself from climate change, for example? And the motivation for this major is really that understanding economics is very important for understanding the major sources of the problem, of why do people behave in this way. But understanding economics is also really important for developing solutions to the problems. So the aim of this major is really to qualify young professionals who understand the role of economics in sustainability transformation, and who want to use this knowledge to actively shape a societal transformation towards a more sustainable economy. So if that's something you are interested in, then that's what this major, then this major would fit you well. What is the content of that major is you would get an in-depth understanding of the barriers and solution approaches for a sustainability transformation from an economic perspective. You would also learn, or what's really quite unique about our program is that we have this combination of environmental economics with behavioral economics. And behavioral economics is a branch of economics where really you go more at the intersection of psychology and beyond the Homo economicus assumptions. So this combination is what makes our major special. You would also get additional methods when you do this. So in addition to statistics and econometrics, which of course you can also take as part of this major, you would also learn about economic experiments as an important research tool and about policy evaluation. And you would have in this major also the opportunity to gain some fundamental knowledge in other sustainability related disciplines. So you can also take a glimpse at another discipline, for example, psychology, human geography, or systems science. What are some career perspectives with this major? Well, this is a very growing area of job perspectives, of employment options. So you could work, for example, in public agencies shaping environmental policy at the local, national, or international level. You could also work in companies or organizations involved in policy consulting. But you could also work in sustainability departments of companies. Nowadays, a lot of companies have sustainability departments. You could also work in environmental departments of economic research institutes. For example, all the major economic research institutes in Germany have environmental departments, and also in other countries that's common. And also you could work, of course, in academia or in environmental NGOs who are implementing projects to improve sustainability. So that's the information for the moment on the two majors. I want to tell you also a bit about our admission requirements. These are now in general for the Master in Economics. You would need a successfully completed bachelor's degree. And if you want to know if your bachelor's degree is sufficient to get accepted at the University of Osnabrück, you can check on Uni Assist. Georgie already showed that you can access this also via the My German University site, or you can also access it directly. And there you can check for general acceptance of your degree. Usually a 3-year bachelor program is sufficient, so 180 ECTS credits, but sometimes a 4-year program may be required because high school degree in Germany is longer than in some other countries. So it's better to check on Uni Assist for your particular degree. You would also need English language skills, at least at B2 level. And then there are, in addition, a few subject-specific requirements in economics. The first is that you would need at least 25 ECTS credits from the field of economics. So you don't necessarily need to have a full degree, a bachelor degree in economics, but you need at least 25 ECTS credits in courses taken in the field of economics. And also at least 15 ECTS in mathematics, statistics, or econometrics, with at least 8 of these in statistics or econometrics. If you don't fulfill these requirements, it's not completely hopeless to apply to the University of Osnabrück. If you are not missing more than 10 ECTS from this list, you can still get admitted in principle, but then it would be subject to the requirement to make up certain modules. So you can still apply and try. Here I put the application deadlines, assuming that you all would come with an international bachelor's degree certificate. Even if you come from other EU countries, you would always have to apply via Uni Assist. And the application deadline for the winter semester is July 15. For the summer semester is January 15. And with this, I will hand over to 𝘱𝘢𝘕 who's one of our master students who joined, I think, last semester. And she will tell you about the people and the environment.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. Sorry about my camera. Okay. I am 𝘱𝘢𝘕. I'm an international student, and it's my second semester to study Master of Economics. Now I'm going to talk about my experiences to study at Osnabrück University and also live in Osnabrück city. Well, compared to my bachelor university, I believe that it's more enjoyable to study at Osnabrück University since there are lots of knowledgeable and supportive professors, alongside a great and friendly atmosphere. And when you come to Osnabrück University, you can find many professors working on various empirical methods. For example, Professor Engel talks about sustainability and environmental economics. And also, there are lots of students who are really engaged and willing to research and study in different topics. And in my opinion, the most important point is that students are able to have contact with professors directly and ask their questions conveniently, contrary to many large universities. In fact, there is a university council which allows students to have contact with professors and even the university management. There are also several social media accounts running by students, and all these accounts are always up to date based on the latest news and knowledge by professors. You can also find several interdisciplinary networks, such as digitalization, in order to give some tips to study better, and it's really helpful, especially for researching. Now I'm going to talk about the environment and the city. As you know, Osnabrück is called a city of peace because in 1648, the most important peace treaties were assigned, and also you can find many historical and architectural buildings from the past in Osnabrück as the most important tourist attractions. And Osnabrück is also called a small big city because you can find all advantages of both small and big cities. Osnabrück has around 168,000 population, including 28,000 students who make Osnabrück a student city. On the other side, you can be engaged in the modern life and whatever you need and all your requirements are around you in the city, and it brings you a convenient life. About the environment, city and surroundings are full of green fields, and I found Osnabrück really beautiful and full of breathtaking landscapes, and it's really relaxing and peaceful. You can do a wide range of sports and cultural activities. There is a huge music hall in Osnabrück, and it's always active, especially in the summer. You can also enjoy the nightlife in the city center, the place where is full of bars, cafeterias, and restaurants. And in my opinion, the living costs are really affordable in Osnabrück, and no need to pay much money for a high quality of life. And the most important point is that Osnabrück is very well connected to the biggest cities in Germany and also other European countries. There is a main train station in the city center, and you can travel to lots of important cities such as Hamburg, Hanover, and Düsseldorf very fast, in less than 2 hours. It was my experiences, and I hope it will be helpful, and enjoy the city and university.
Thanks a lot, Ms. Emami. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
I'll just finish our presentation with just a few more links that I put here for you. I know an important issue is also always finding accommodation. So you will be able to access these slides also through My German University later. And here you have some links on residence halls, on housing market, and also on shared living. In Germany, really a very common model that many people use is that you share a flat with other students. And there are some sites where you can look for rooms in these shared flats here. I put here also some other links that could be useful, for example, more on finding accommodation, on finding furniture, on other practical issues of life in the city, including also the cost of living, more on the master program in economics, and also more on general study organization in Germany and the courses offered. So you can look at these links if you are interested. And with that, we actually end our presentation. If you have further questions, feel free to contact also our degree program supervisor, Elena Romanenchuk, who's not here today, but we actually have Martina Schmitz-Barton also from the study degree program support here. And you have here also the web addresses or the internet addresses that you can write to them if you have any questions. Okay, with that, I hand over back to Georgie.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Professor. And thank you very much, Ms. Emami, for wonderful presentations, different perspectives. And yeah, regarding the email addresses, you can find them also in the chat. I just wrote them down. If you want to take further notes, please go ahead. And UNIASYS was mentioned. And for those who would like to find out more about this procedure, also I put in the link in the chat, the link to the article where you can find more information regarding this procedure. Okay, so now we are moving more to the south of Germany, closer, very close to France and Luxembourg. So we are moving to Trier, and we have a guest from Trier University, as I already introduced, Professor Dr. 𝘱𝘢𝘕𝘢𝘕, and she will. We are sticking to MS level economics, but of course from a different university. So, Professor, please, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Georgi, for introducing me. And so I'm now going to share the screen for our presentation about our master's program in economics. Let me just try and do full screen for that. Here we go. Oh, yeah. All right. So We are in Trier, and Trier lies in the southwest of Germany, close to the Luxembourgish border. In fact, it's like 20 minutes by car to Luxembourg, to the border. And we are for that reason, also very close to France and Belgium, since Luxembourg is relatively small. Yeah, so Luxembourg itself is a very important administration center for the finance industry, but also for the EU. Trier is the oldest city in Germany. It was actually built and founded by the Romans. And the Roman buildings in the city have UNESCO World Heritage status. The cathedral also actually dates back to Roman times and is the oldest church in Germany. It has among its treasures a relic, the holy tunic, which supposedly Jesus wore when he was crucified or before he was crucified. So Trier is also, just as Osnabrück, a small city. It has about 110,000 inhabitants. That is, it's smaller than Osnabrück actually. Trier University is actually very old. It was originally founded in 1473. Then it was closed at the beginning of the 19th century and reopened in 1970. And we currently have approximately 11,000 students. So here you can see two pictures of Trier. On the right, you see the Roman city gate, the Porta Nigra. And on the left, you see part of our market square and the church at like in the middle. That is actually not the cathedral, but the cathedral would be to your left from here. So here you see Trier University. So it's a modern campus. You see our library. You see two of our recent students. These are Ahmed and Yi from Ethiopia and Taiwan, respectively. And at the bottom, you see a picture of our campus. So our campus actually won several awards for landscaping. So actually very beautiful surroundings on the top of a hill. So the city is at the river, and we as the university, we are on top of the hill overlooking the city. So our program has been in operation in English since 2010. So, and it's a general economics master's program with an interdisciplinary outreach, which means that you can also take courses from political science, business administration, sociology, statistics, just to name a few examples. We have 6 different specializations. You may also call them majors, namely international political economy, international labor markets and innovation, international finance, European social security and health systems, econometrics and applied statistics, and finally a new specialization which we are going to offer starting in winter, environment and sustainability. So we also offer another master's program which is related, namely a Master of Arts in International Economics and Public Policy, and that is a joint master program with the political science department. So for that you would also need some background in political science. So as the standard German master program, our program also takes 2 years to complete. And you can spend 1 semester abroad if you wish to, you don't have to. We also have a double degree option. That means that we can issue 2 degrees, one from Trier and one from our partner universities. And the language of instruction is English. At the beginning of your studies, you will have a prep course in math that takes 1 week. And then after that, the courses start. I will say more about that in a moment. And we have an academic mentoring program. That means that each student has a professor assigned for academic mentoring. So if you have problems or questions about the program, you can always approach that professor. So also standard for German programs is that they are decomposed into modules. So most modules take 1 semester to complete, some actually take 2. Modules can have a weight of 5 or 10 credit points. In all, you need 120 credit points in order to complete your degree. Our master's thesis is worth 30 credit points, so it's somewhat more than in Osnabrück. And so we have 3 compulsory modules, namely advanced micro, advanced macro, and econometrics. The master's thesis is worth 30 credit points, typically written in the 4th semester, and everything else of the 120 120 credit points are actually elective courses. So there you have to choose these courses when in your second and third semester. And similarly to Osnabrück, if you choose a certain amount of credit points from a certain specialization, you will actually get this written on your transcript. For example, suppose you take 30 credit points out of a specialization in international finance, then on your transcript and on your degree, it will say you have achieved a Master of Science in Economics with a specialization or major in international finance. You don't need to choose a specialization. However, you can also just simply choose among the available courses, of which we have a large variety. So once you have completed the 3 compulsory modules, macro, micro, and econometrics, and 60 credit points, with or without a distinct specialization, and have written your master's thesis, you will be awarded the degree Master of Science in Economics. So if you wish to do a double degree, that is possible with 2 partner universities, namely one in Italy, that would be the University of Bergamo, and one in Poland, that would be the University of Warsaw. So how would that work? Well, the first year you would spend in Trier and earn 60 credit points there. After the first semester, you would apply for admission to the double master's degree. So we have 5 slots per partner university, and they're typically not all filled. So if you finish your 60 credit points in Trier, then typically you have the opportunity, if you want to go to either Bergamo or Warsaw and take courses there. The master's thesis is written under the supervision of a professor from Trier and one from the partner university. And after 2 years and having earned 120 credit points, you will be awarded 2 degrees, namely one from Trier, the Master of Science in Economics with a specialization European Economic Integration, and then either from Warsaw or from Bergamo, a second master degree, namely in Warsaw, Master in International Economics, and in Bergamo, Master in Economics and Data Analysis. Now, if you're interested in that, you should contact then me directly, because I'm responsible for this double master program. I also built it up myself. So here, this is Warsaw, probably known that this is the capital of Poland. That is really a big city, 1.7 million inhabitants. It's a dynamic and growing city right in the center of Europe, and of course, the cultural, economic, and political center of Poland. Its old town is also UNESCO World Cultural Heritage. It was completely destroyed during World War II, but then rebuilt after the war, so it's also very beautiful. And the Department of Economics is ranked first in Poland in economics, so it's really a top university to attend. Bergamo, also a very beautiful city. You can see here the old city on the top of a hill. That is small. It's about the size of Trier, only a little bit bigger. 119,000 citizens. It's an important regional center of Lombardy, so in the north of Italy, only 50 kilometers away from Milan. It has its own airport close to the city, which it shares with Milan, but it's actually called Milan Bergamo, as far as I remember. So a wonderful medieval old town, and also a very good university. It's ranked in the top half of the 39 Italian universities that are listed in the Times Higher Education ranking. And of course, not all Italian universities are listed there. So the admission requirements, in order to get into our program, you need a grade of 2.7 or better in an economics bachelor's program. So I'm pretty sure most of you don't know this German grading system yet. So in Germany, the best grade is 1.0, the worst grade is 4.0, the worst passing grade that is. So 2.7, this grade is basically calculated according to a formula. You find information on that on our website so that you could, for example, transform your own grade to see whether it fits. If you don't have an economics bachelor's degree, then actually the grade that you need to have is better. It would be grade 2.2. So that would be for bachelor's programs such as business administration, social sciences, and the like. So in this program, you should have had at least 1/3, yeah, so 60 credits, 60 ECTS in economics, math, and statistics. So we don't basically split that up into economics, math, and statistics, but rather we say 60 credits in economics and or math and or statistics. For proficiency in English, well, I mean, there are certain requirements, but too, we take different tests, for example, the TOEFL, but also other tests. All of that you can find here on our website. So Georgi can also share the slides with you later on, so where you can find all these things. So the application does not go via UniAssist, but you have to apply directly in Trier. It's an online application. The application portal is at the moment open, so from May 1st to May 31st. And that is for the admission for the winter semester, meaning starting in October and also the following summer semester. Yeah, so the admission is for 2 semesters. If you get admitted now, you can choose to start this winter or you can start the next summer. And there's another application period which runs from December 15th to January 15th. So that's for non-EU nationals. For EU nationals, the summer application period is somewhat longer. As you can see, it ends on July 15th. Now, what materials do you need? Well, you need a university entrance qualification, which would be like a high school diploma. Then the master entrance qualification, that is typically your bachelor degree. There's a transcript of records with the overall GPA, of course. Then you need to pay an evaluation fee, and you need to send a passport or ID card scan. Then for English language proficiency, you need to provide some proof, clear, a statement about previously attended universities, tabular CV, and if you come from China, Vietnam, or India, you need an APS certificate that, in fact, you need whenever you want to come from these countries and study in Germany. So the information for that you can also find on our website in English, of course. So what are the advantages? So we have relatively small class sizes and a large variety of course choices, offering interdisciplinary qualifications. Yeah, I told you that our program has been in operation in English since 2010, so we have a lot of experience and also a lot of course choices available. So our master's program has several times ranked in the top group in the economics master programs in Germany. So last in the CHE ranking of 2020 for the overall study situation. We do not charge tuition. However, there's some kind of an administrative fee, which, however, provides benefits. So that's also typical for German universities. They don't charge tuition, but you have to pay some money in order to get like free bus pass and train pass, and also like cheaper meals at the university cafeteria. So each student has a professor as an academic mentor. And I already told you that we're very close to Luxembourg. And for that reason, also there are excellent job prospects. So many people actually do internships in Luxembourg and already find there their future employer. But you can also do an internship in Brussels, for example. Brussels is not far away. You can do an internship in Frankfurt. So all these places are not far away from Trier. While Trier is close to the border, yeah, it is in the center of Europe, and like main centers of European decision-making are not far away. Same goes for Strasbourg, by the way. It's also close. So we prepare for successful doctoral studies. So for example, I have 3 doctoral students currently, and all 3 of them come from abroad. They all went through our master's program. So one is from Russia, one is from Vietnam, and one is from the Dominican Republic. Yeah, so doctoral students oftentimes come from our own master program and oftentimes are from abroad and not necessarily from an EU country. So then the optional study abroad I already mentioned. So that would be the Erasmus program that you can take part in, but also the double master program. So in fact, the Department of Economics has been the first recipient of Trier University's Internationalization Prize. And that was awarded because we are engaged in English language master's programs with our economics master. The main program, of course, but then I already mentioned the joint program with political science. We also have a statistics master, and we participate in a data science master as well. So with administrative issues, we have a very nice international office that is very helpful both to students and to faculty. And we have our own foreign student advisor who is present here today. That is Arina Wisniewski. And
hello, everyone.
Yeah, hi, Arina. So, and housing is typically not a problem. I mean, finding housing as a foreign student in town, if you don't know German, is not all that easy, but we have a lot of actually on campus affordable student housing, and typically our foreign students actually find a room there. So once again, there is an administrative fee. It's not tuition. It's about 280 euros per semester, but it pays for the free bus and train tickets so that you can travel everywhere. And it also pays for the cheap university cafeteria meals so that you have this price reduction. And if you're interested in more information, you can look at our website for the master's program, and there you will find a lot of what I've said today, but also much more. And so we would be very happy if we could welcome you in Trier. These are also two of our recent students. So the girl is actually from Tunisia and the boy is one of our German master students. Yeah, that's Richie and Arina. Do you remember? I certainly remember the girl, Tunisia. Do you remember her name?
Yes, it's Yasmin.
Yasmin. Oh, okay. All right. Okay, so thank you very much for your attention, and I would be happy to answer any further questions that you may have.
Amazing. Okay, great. Thank you very much, Professor. Thank you also very much, Arina, for joining us and also sending in some valuable information in the chat. Dear attendees, I also just copied what Arina sent so that you can also see in the chat. Thank you very much, Professor Engels, for being so active also in answering the questions, making my life much easier. And still, there are many questions left, and let us address them until we have enough time. So this is first question that I see is quite a complex, a difficult one, maybe, but we can answer it compactly. Can we also hear opinion of professors regarding these different types of universities? So they're referring that I mentioned Universität and University of Applied Sciences type. Professors, would you like to underline any key issues regarding these two types? You don't have to take a lot of time on this. Professor Maćke, would you like to start?
Yeah, sure. Well, yeah, so traditionally we used to have universities, and then at the end of the 1960s, actually a lot of universities of applied sciences were founded. And in the beginning, these were meant as some alternative to the more academic studies at the university. So they were more like for practical issues. Yeah, so for that reason, also economics is typically not offered very often at these universities of applied sciences, simply because economics used to be like an academic subject at the university, whereas in the University of Applied Sciences, you find more like hands-on, like engineering studies, for example. Yeah, so today actually there's not that much difference anymore, except that the universities of applied sciences don't typically offer PhD programs or PhD degrees. So basically, if you want to get a PhD there, you would need to find a cooperation with the university. Yeah, so that's a major difference.
Great. Thank you very much. And Professor Engel, would you like to add something else or okay?
I think she answered it absolutely perfectly, much better than I could.
Okay, we are all on the same page. Perfect. Thank you very much. Then I have a question for Professor Engel specifically. What is the IELTS score needed for Osnabrück? It says CEFR B2, but what if I wish to give IELTS? Also, what if I have studied already in English study program? Classical question, so to say.
Right, and I didn't answer it because I wanted to ask Mrs. Schmitz-Barton. Do you?
Okay.
The answer to this one? Yeah, how can you demonstrate English if you don't do the B2 CEFR?
So if you already completed a completely English language bachelor's degree program, the English language requirements are met. And the IELTS score is for B2 are 5.5, 6, and 6.5. So
clear. Thank you. That was quite clear. Thank you very much for a very compact and clear answer. Okay, so yes, if you have taught also studied English, it's totally fine. Okay, then let's move to a question for Trier from Alina. Regarding the double degree option, to what extent will the curriculum be affected in case we opt for the double degree? Also, will we have to pay any extra costs to the host universities?
Yeah, very important question. So for the double degree, you would in Trier do also advanced micro, advanced macro, and econometrics, as you typically would do. And then it kind of depends when there are 3 more courses to take for 30 additional credits. And that depends then on which program you want to join, whether you want to join Bergamo or Warsaw. Yeah, so that basically depends then on the program where you want to go to. But there is some choice there also. And then once you go to Bergamo or Warsaw, there is no tuition. So we do have a double degree agreement with these universities, but they don't charge any additional tuition. I mean, some of these countries charge tuition for foreign students, yeah, unlike Germany. But for our students who come there as double degree students, that is waived. Yeah, and then basically they take then additional courses there. But in all, I mean, the curriculum is somewhat different than when you just study in Trier, yeah, because we have different courses to choose from. But basically, you just need 120 credits to get the degree. Yeah. So.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much for the information. Now going back to Osnabrück. Does Osnabrück accept extra credits earned while doing bachelor's? I think it was a question also for also for Trier. So I will ask you both then. Let's start with Professor Engel.
Yeah, as far as I know, but here I would also like to ask Ms. Schmitz-Barton to help me a bit. As far as I know, you would not be able to count this as part of your master then. I mean, you basically just qualify for the master, but it wouldn't waive requirements in the master if you have additional bachelor credits, if I understand the question correctly. Ms. Schmitz-Barton, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. But if the student means if it is so I think if the extra credits were earned within your bachelor's degree program, they will be included in the assessment of subject specific suitability if you apply for the master. So yes.
Okay, great. Thank you both. Professor Maćke, would you like to also add from your side?
Yeah, I think that's the same for us. Of course, if you have already taken some master's level courses, it is possible that they can count towards your master's degree in Trier. Yeah, but if it's bachelor level courses, that's just, it's part of the evaluation of your bachelor's degree, but not that you can count that towards your master's degree.
Yeah, but it's also a very interesting point that, for example, if they take master level courses, it will also be counted. I think it's also important to know. Thank you for sharing that.
I think that's also true in Osnabrück, by the way.
Also true for Osnabrück. So yeah, that's good to know. And for Osnabrück, could you talk about the acceptance rate of the course?
Yeah, there were a couple of questions actually asking about the chances of getting into the program and whether you need a certain grade or something. So this is the advantage now of being a new program in English. So we are really starting this, or we started this last winter semester, and there is really no additional admission requirement in terms of a grade or so at the moment. And so you really also, essentially, if you comply with these requirements that I mentioned, then you can make it into the program, essentially. Let me go back to the requirements. So you would have to check whether your bachelor's degree is acceptable the way it is. You check on UniAssist, you need the English, and then you need at least 25 ECTS from the field of economics and at least 15 in mathematics, statistics, or econometrics. Of those, 8 have to be in statistics or econometrics. So essentially, if you satisfy these, then you would be admitted currently.
And one more suggestion from my side also, because I was also an international student and I had experience with all the things, including UniAssist. Dear attendees, in case you need to use UniAssist, also check out the special page on UniAssist, which is called country by country information. So there you can find, in case you are coming from a particular country, there are some specific additional documents that UniAssist needs you to provide. Make sure that you are aware of all of that, because if you miss any important document, then UniAssist will not send the documents to Osnabrück, and Osnabrück will not be able to take into account your candidature. So it's important to know also. Okay, now question from Paria, and it's a question from Trier. What if my previous degree is not related to economics at all? Is it possible still to get admitted?
Yes, that is possible, but then you basically need to have like these 60 credits in math, statistics, economics. Yeah, so if it's not economics related, then I guess the economics credits you don't need to look for, but it's still possible. For example, if you have a degree in math or statistics, you could still join. Yeah, so we have had people who didn't have economics classes before. Yeah, and still they were able to do pretty well. Yeah, so that is possible. Yeah, although it's kind of not very typical, but yes, but you need to have these 60 credits, which means about a third of your bachelor's degree in economics, math, statistics. Yeah, that is and or.
Okay, clear. And let me stay with you, Professor, because there's also a question for Trier regarding the maximum amount of seats for this course. So to reformulate the question, is it a numerus clausus course or not?
No, if you meet the requirements for admission, you get admitted. Yeah, so it's not that we say, you know, we have only 50 slots, and then if we have found the 50 best candidates, the other ones, despite the fact that they actually meet our admission criteria, they cannot come. Yeah, so we admit everybody who meets our admission requirements. Yeah, so, and if 20 come, that's fine, and if 50 come, that's also fine. I mean, we have had incoming classes of 16 in like earlier years. Now we are kind of smaller, but basically, you know, even if 60 people, you know, fill our admission criteria and they all come, well, then they all come. That's not a problem.
Okay, perfect. Thanks a lot. Let me note these questions. And Professor Engel, I see you are answering, you're typing in an answer to this question, but let me ask you to voice it up. Yeah, of course, we mentioned many times already these admission chances and acceptance rate, and there's a question. So if I have a very high, a very good GPA, will it somehow help me also increase my chances or compensate for any other difficulties that I have in my profile, so to say?
Yeah, currently it doesn't, because it's essentially like Professor Matschke also was saying, right? So as long as you satisfy the admission criteria, then you get accepted. And so it wouldn't help you if in addition you have a high GPA or if you have a good grade or so, or because everyone who fulfills the criteria would be admitted. Of course, it can still help you do better in the courses later if you have such a good background, and if you did very well in prior courses, it can be also very helpful for you, but not for getting admitted.
Okay, thank you very much. And regarding the GPA, also Professor Matschke mentioned regarding the different system in Germany, which is a very interesting one. And yeah, in a general, there is also a general link that I provided in the chat that, for example, in every program, you can use your GPA and convert it to see where approximately your GPA stands also in German terms. You can also, you're more than welcome to use the chat as well, of course. Next question for Trier. Does Trier accept extra credits earned while doing bachelor's? If my ECTS falls short, but I have done some courses related to economics, would that help substitute the fallout in my total ECTS? Would you accept extra ECTS aside the regular bachelor's? I think we already addressed this question more or less because it's like a repetition to that, more or less. But would you like to add something to that, Professor, or we can click it as done?
No, I think that's done then, right?
Yeah, I also think so, because we already addressed. Thank you. And then another question is for you. Could you elaborate more on the difference between compulsory elective and elective modules?
Okay, so we have compulsory modules. These are modules that you need to take. Yeah, so everybody needs to take advanced micro, advanced macro, and econometrics. And then we have, well, compulsory electives. So basically that just means that you need to take like a certain number of additional credits, but there you can choose, right? So it's not that you can say, I don't want to take it, it's just elective. No, you need to choose several courses, yeah, like 60 additional credits then. And that is just what is meant by compulsory elective. It means you can choose among a certain list of courses. Yeah,
Okay.
but it's not required that you take one particular course, except for advanced micro, macro, and econometrics.
Okay, clear. Thanks a lot. All right. So there is a question regarding UniAssist. So it's for Osnabrück. My diploma is from the UK. Do I still need to use UniAssist to apply?
Yes, you would still need to use UniAssist to apply.
Okay, thank you. And one more question for you also, Professor Engel. Thank you, Professor. My country is Nigeria and it's an English-speaking country. Thus, can the English language requirement be waived in my case?
Mrs. Schmitz-Barton, maybe you can help me here, but my understanding is that no, you would still need to demonstrate your B2 or B2 equivalent.
So if the bachelor's degree program is in English, then the requirements are met. So
okay,
that's right. I thought the country was just somehow. I cannot see the question right now.
yeah, that's the country is Nigeria, but I suppose they also did bachelor's in English, but cannot.
Bachelor's in English. Okay.
Yes.
So if the bachelor's in English, I guess it can be waived, right?
yes.
Of course, yeah. Please, Kenneth, just take a note. If you are from Nigeria but did your bachelor's in another country in different language, then might be that might be a problem in this case. But if you have done it in Nigeria also in English bachelor, then you're good to go, so to say. Now, also question for Trier. I have two questions regarding Master of Economics and Public Policy. Is the admission requirement the same as this economics program? And second one, I have BA in Political Science and MS in Management. Would the ECTS in my master be considered as well?
That's actually a very good point. So number one, the International Economics and Public Policy Master has different admission requirements. Number one, it is somewhat less with regard to the grade. So grade can be worse. And number two, you need just 30 credits in economics/math/statistics and 30 ECTS in political science. So with your bachelor in political science, I'm pretty sure you fulfill the 30 ECTS requirement. And for the economics and math and the stats part, one would need to see. Yeah, so oftentimes the political science program already includes some such economics classes, for example, and you only need 30, so less than 60 for economics. And then for the master's program, I remember that we had this discussion and I think that we did count that, yeah, but I'm not 100% sure, yeah, so because oftentimes you don't have two bachelor degrees, yeah, and so if you do like political science bachelor and then after that you do the management bachelor, then it's possible that in the management master, that you have there enough economics credits for that, yeah, so but that one would need to basically check, yeah, so but yeah, the requirements are different, only 30 ECTS from math, stats, economics, and 30 from political science. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, and if I may add, just for the very last question, actually what matters for our admission is only the bachelor's, because the question was, I guess, if I understood it correctly, if the ECTS and the masters are also considered as well at the admissions, but we only look at the bachelor's courses. So please don't forget that as well.
Okay, so all right. So yeah, I was not quite sure because we had this discussion. I remember that, but I don't quite remember what the solution was. But then on the other hand, if you got into the master in management, I would imagine that there was also some kind of requirement to. So.
True. Great. Thank you very much, Professor. Also, Arina, thank you very much for tuning in. There are 3 more questions and we can call it a day. Let's stay with Trier for a second. Also, regarding the prospects, you mentioned, Professor, you mentioned job prospects in Luxembourg, but as an international student, can I do that?
Yes, absolutely. So we have many students from abroad, from all kinds of non-EU countries. And yes, it's absolutely possible to do an internship in Luxembourg and then later on also find a job in Luxembourg. So if you want to work for the EU, that's more difficult. But if it's just for like firms, banks, insurance companies, yes, that's not a problem. Yeah, so lots of people do that and very successfully. Yeah.
Yes, if I also may add, I know that there are a couple of EU institutions / international institutions that are open for people with no EU passports, like, for example, European Stability Mechanism. This is not an advertisement. And some other maybe on the way. So you should really check like organization by organization.
Yeah, very good advice. Thank you very much, Arina. And Professor Engel, may I ask you to, I saw you write down, you answered this question in written form, but there are so many questions students may have missed that, and it's really important to know, once again, to repeat. So the question was, if I opt for the semester abroad, will my studies be prolonged? And I think it's really good to know that you wrote also there.
Yes. So it doesn't have to be prolonged. So essentially, we encourage this to do a semester abroad. And if you plan ahead and discuss beforehand with the study coordinators, you can plan it in a way that you don't have to lose a semester, essentially. So we can support you in that. Mrs. Schmitz-Barton, is there anything we should add to this?
You said was correct, so nothing to add.
All right.
No, that's really important to know that they can still put, be in the frame of these standard semesters, even taking the semester abroad. So thanks for sharing that. And last question, but not least, there was a question for both, I guess, because it's not specified. Can a diploma and bachelor's degree in political science qualify for master's degree in economics? So as both professors mentioned already several times regarding this background question, I understand it's very important to know there are some ECTS points that if you have collected them, as mentioned, if you have all these ECTS, then it should be fine. If you don't have this ECTS, then even if it's engineering or political science or etc., it will be a problem. So this is my answer from what I understood, also collected from today's discussion. Please, professors, add if I did something wrong, if I said something wrong.
Yeah, I can maybe say again, I'm not muted, because Professor Matschke was saying again how it is in Trier with those 60 ECTS in economic statistics and math, if I understood correctly. And just to repeat, in Osnabrück, we divide between economics and statistics and math. And what you need is, just to say it again, at least 25 ECTS in economics, and at least 15 ECTS in mathematics, statistics, or econometrics. And of those 15 ECTS in mathematics, statistics, or econometrics, at least 8 should be in statistics or econometrics. So I guess that means if you do a bachelor in math and you have never taken economics or nor econometrics or statistics or some, you would not make it into the program in Osnabrück. But you don't need a bachelor in economics. So if you have 25 ECTS in economics and 15 in mathematics, statistics, or econometrics, then you're fine. And if you don't fulfill those requirements, you can also, if you miss no more than 10 ECTS from those lists, you can still potentially get admitted but you need to make up for certain modules. So you can still try. I know this is kind of difficult to remember, so I'll put it also in the chat, okay?
Yeah, thanks. And also, dear attendees, to visualize all this, I also shared in the chat the link where you can find also the profile of the Osnabrück's Master Economics program, and there you can see all the details. And for Trier, would you like to add something different, Professor?
Yeah, for us, it's different. I already explained that you need 60 ECTS, economics/math/statistics. So it is possible in principle that if you're a math major or if you're from engineering, that you get your 60 ECTS from just math and stats. That is possible. Yeah, so you can join the econ program even if you haven't had economics before. So that's the difference apparently with compared to Osnabrück.
Great, thank you. And I promise this is the last question because I've just received it. Will we study statistical programs and do we have free access to them or do we have to buy them? Arina already answered in the chat for Trier that yes, you have the access and the computer labs have all the licenses. And what would be the answer from Osnabrück? I think it's the same.
It's the same, yeah. The courses we use mostly R and Stata. Yeah. And there are licenses for it, and you will have access to a virtual pool of, so you can also even work from your home office using these licenses.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Great. So thank you very much. Let me share with you my official thank you slide. So thank you very much for the guests, of course, for wonderful presentations and also for everyone who was behind the scenes answering the questions. It was a great help to me also. And thank you for attendees for tuning in, for your great interest, as I could see, for very interesting questions, actually, that I enjoyed also hearing and reading out and hearing the answers. That was a really interesting discussion. And in case you have any further questions for the program, specifically to Osnabrück or Trier, please get in touch with them. Contact details were shared with you. Also, the presentations will be shared, so their emails are there. Please get in touch with them. You can see that they're very eager to help you and to provide you with very comprehensive answers. And if you have any questions to us, general questions regarding studying in Germany, please get in touch with us, my German university. And yes, also I shared in the chat links, direct links to Facebook or Google, where you can send us your feedback regarding today's webinar, any concerns or any praise also. I will accept also a praise, of course. That's all. Thank you very much, everyone. Once again, I enjoyed it a lot and I wish you a very nice end of the day. Thank you and bye-bye.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Georgie. Would be great to see some of you in Osnabrück. I put also my email in the chat in case you want to write directly with a question.
Perfect. Thank you.
Bye-bye.